Okay, so today's lesson's clearing fractions, and we did it in the pair deck. Okay, remembering cross-canceling. Okay, now we can always multiply straight across and get 24 over 3. Then we can simplify the fraction and get 8. But there's actually an easier way to do this. And the easier way to do this is if there's something in the denominator that goes into the numerator, then we can cancel it out. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3 divided by itself is 1. If I multiply straight across, I get 8 over 1, which is 8. Okay? I'll do another one. Let's see, 18 times 5/6. Okay, if I look at this, 6 goes into 18 3 times. It goes into itself once. So if I multiply across, I get 15, or 15 over 1, which is 15. Okay. So we're going to be doing a lot of that. The first thing when we're clearing fractions is we have to find the LCD, or the least common denominator. Okay, then what is the smallest number that all the denominators go into? Distribute the LCD on both sides of the equal sign and solve. We'll do it step by step. So let's look at this first one. Okay, we've been given an equation here. Notice how we have 3. By the way, denominator is the number on bottom. These are the denominators. The numerator is the number on top. Denominator is the number on bottom. So we want to find the least common denominator. By the way, this is finding the multiples of these numbers. So what's the smallest multiple that they have in common? So I just wrote out all the multiples of 2. Well, all the positive multiples of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, blah, 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 going on forever. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, going on forever. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Now, they have a lot of them in common. Okay? We have a 6 in common. We have a 12 in common. We have an 18 in common. We have a 24 in common. We have a 30 in common. We would have a 36. This would have a 36 in common. But it wants the smallest one. So the smallest one that they have in common is 6. Now the next thing it wants us to do is we want to take that 6 and we're going to multiply it on both sides of the equal sign. I'm going to multiply. Remember, the multiplication property of equality says that I can multiply on both sides of the equation and it's not going to change the equation. Okay, so I distribute this. So I'm going to take 6 and I'm going to multiply it by 2/3 x. And then I'm going to take this 1/2 and multiply it by 6. I'm going to take this 5/6 and multiply it by 6. So when I do this, 3 goes into 6 2 times. So if I was going to multiply, I would get 4x. This, it's minus, it's negative. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So I get 3. 6 goes into 6 1 time. And if I multiply, I get 5. Now some of you are probably saying, I don't get that. Okay, fine. If you don't get how to do that, let me write it for you. So I would multiply across. I'd get 12 over 3x minus 6 over 2 equals 30 over 6. And I would simplify my fractions. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5. They're the exact same equations. Then, all I did was write it over here for you, okay? It's the same thing. And now I just solve this. So, I add 3 to both sides of the equal sign. I get 4x equals 8. I divide by 4 on both sides, and I get x equals 2. Now you can check your answer just like we've done all the checking on all the other ones. So I just need to be able to write the checking. So 2/3 x minus 1/2 equals 5/6. Okay, so 2 is the x value. So that would get me 4/3 minus 1/2 equals 5/6. So I need 6 to be the common denominator, so I multiply the top and bottom here by 2, top and bottom here by 3. I get 8/6 minus 3/6 equals 5/6. See? Oops, that's a 6. It does work. So that is my answer. I'm not going to be checking these. You can check them, but I'm not going to actually be checking these. So, in this very first one, my common denominator, well, I have 2 and I have 1. 1, 2, oh, look at that. It's the first number that they have in common. So, I'm going to multiply the left-hand side by 2. I'm going to multiply the right-hand side by 2. So 2 times x over 2 minus 9 times 2 equals negative 5 times 2. This cancels with this, so I get x minus 18 equals negative 10. Then I add 18 to both sides of the equal sign, and I get x equals 8. Okay, next one. Actually, going to use my blue that I like. So I have 2 and I have 4. 2, 4, 6, 8, 4, 8. Oh, look at that, 4s. So 4 is the common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the left-hand side by 4. I'm going to multiply the right-hand side by 4. So I get 4 times 3/4 x plus 4 times 1/2 equals 4 times negative 5/2. This 4 cancels with this 4 and I get 3x. This 2 goes into this 4 2 times, so I get 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times negative 5 gets negative 10. Subtract 2 from both sides. 3x equals negative 12. Divide by 3 and get x equals negative 4. Now, if you're still one of those people that can't do this step right here, if I had multiplied instead of cross-canceling, I would have gotten 12/4x plus 4/2 equals negative 20/2. And when I simplify it, I would still get that right there. So, this is over 1. So I have 2, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This is 3, 6, that's what's in common. So I'm going to multiply by 6, multiply by 6. So if I multiply this one by 6, I get 6 times 2/3. I multiply this by 6, and I get 6x equals 6 times 3 over 2. 3 goes into 6 2 times, so I get 4. Because 2 times 2 is 4. Then 6x, 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Again, if you don't know how to do that, you can still multiply it out. So if I had 6 times 2/3 plus 6x equals 6 times 3/2, I would get 12 over 3 plus 6x plus 18 over, that's an equal sign, 18 over 2. This turns to 4, this turns to 9. So it's the exact same thing we already did. Oops, there we go. So I subtract 4 from each side of the equal sign. I get 6x equals 5. Divide by 6, and I get x equals 5/6. Okay. So in this one, the only denominator we have other than 1 is 4. So I would multiply the right-hand side by 4. I would multiply the left-hand side by 4 and the right-hand side by 4. If I take 4 and I multiply it by 1/4, that's going to get me 1. If I multiply 4 times 4, that would get me 16. So the left side is 8x plus 24. This is 48x plus, that's a 4, that's a 5, 144. Okay, got to get the variables on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to move my smallest coefficient. I would get 24 equals 40x plus 144. Then I subtract 144 from both sides. There are more negatives than there are positives, so my answer is going to be negative. 144 minus 24, 0 to 1, so 1 negative 120 equals 40x. I divide by 40, and I get negative 3 is equal to x. Next, change my color. I'm going to use orange this time. So I have 4, 5, and 10. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Oh, I think 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, those both have 20s. 10, 20. Look at that. They all have 20. So the common denominator is going to be 20. I'm going to multiply it on both sides of the equal sign. When I do that, I get 20 times 1/4 x plus 20. Oh, that was a horrible 2. Times 3/5 equals 20 times 1/10. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5x. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. 10 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. And then again, I solve it just like I've been solving. I subtract 12 from both sides. 5x equals negative 10. Divide by 5 on both sides and get x equals negative 2. Okay, there's only one denominator of 6, so I'm going to multiply by 6. 6 times x is going to get me 6x. 6 times 19/6 and 6, oops, I forgot the 6 on this side, times 32 over 6. So 6x plus these 6's cancel and I get 19. These 6's cancel and I get 32. I subtract 19 from both sides of the equal sign and then I get 6x equals, let's see, borrow, that would be a 313. Did I copy this down right? I did. So I divide by 6 and I get x equals 13 over 6. Okay. Oops. So next one, here we go. We have 5 and we have 10. 5, 10, 15, 20. Look at that. 10 right there. So I'm going to take 10 and I'm going to multiply it on this whole side. I'm going to multiply 10 over here. So I'm going to multiply 10 here. So I get 10 times 3/10 x minus 2 plus, and then I'm going to do this one, and I get 10 times 1/10 equals 10 times 2/5. If I multiply 10 times 3/10, these cancel, and I'm left with the 3, x minus 2. These cancel, and I'm left with a 1. This cancels, and I'm left with a 4. So then I do the distributive property and get 3x minus 6 plus 1 equals 4. Combine like terms, 3x minus 5 equals 4. I add 5 to both sides, 3x equals 9, and divide by 3, get x equals 3. Okay. Had to see how many more there were. My denominators are 2, 4, and 5. So I have 2, 4, we have 1 there, but 5 doesn't go into that. 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, 5 goes into 10, but 4 doesn't. 12, 14, 16, 18. Oh, look at that. So I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Hey, they both have 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 20 is their least common denominator. So I multiply by 20, multiply by 20. So I take 20, I multiply it by 1/5 x, and take 20 and I multiply it by 1/4. I take 20, I multiply it by 1/2 x, and I take 20 and I multiply it by 2. 5 goes into 20 4 times, so that would get me 4x. Minus 4 goes into 20 5 times, so minus 5. 2 goes into 20 10 times, so I would get 10x. And 2 times 20 is, oh, that was horrible, 40. So then I just solve it. Okay, 4 is the smaller of the two coefficients. So I'm going to move that to the other side. I get negative 5 equals 6x plus 40. I subtract 40 from both sides of the equal sign. I get negative 45 equals 6x. I divide by 6. 6 does not go in evenly because 45 is not an even number, but 3 goes into both of these. So goes in 15 times, goes in 2 times, so that is my answer. Okay. Ooh, common denominator. They already have one. So I'm going to multiply by 9, multiply by 9. So this would get me 9 times 6/9 y plus 9 times 3/9 equals 9. 9 cancels, I get 6y. 9 cancels, I get 3 and 9. Subtract 3 from both sides, get 6y equals 6. Divide by 6 and y equals 1. Okay. So my two denominators are 4 and 5. By the way, you could just multiply these two numbers together. 12, not 15, 16, and 20. Oh, 5 goes into 20. 5, 10, 15. Look at that, 20. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 20. So 20 times 2/5, parentheses 6x plus 20. And then I multiply it here, minus 20 times 4 equals 20 times 1/4 8x plus 20. So 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. This would get me 80 equals 4 goes into 20 5 times, so 5 parentheses 8x plus 20. So I distribute and I get 48x. Distribute, I get 160 minus 80 equals, multiply here, I get 40x. Multiply here, I get 100. I need to combine like terms. So 48x plus 80 equals 40x plus 100. Subtract the 40x because I subtract the smaller of the two numbers. I get 8x plus 80 equals 100. I subtract 80 from both sides of the equal sign. I get 8x equals 20. Divide by 8, and x equals, nope, that's not going to be right. Yeah, 4 goes into both of those. 5/2. Then, I believe this is our last one. Common denominator would be 2. So 2 times x/2 plus 2 times 8/2 equals 2 times 3. The 2's cancel, I get x. The 2's cancel, I get 8. I multiply that and I get 6. I subtract 8 from both sides and get x equals -2. And I believe that's all of the questions. Yes. Oh, I missed this one. Just totally missed it all together. So the common denominator would be 3 here. Sorry about that. So 3 times 2x/3 plus 3 times 5 would equal 36. 3's cancel and I get 2x. 15 equals 36. I would subtract 15 from both sides. Get 2x equals, that's a 1, that's a 21. Divide by 2 and get x equals 21/2. Okay, so now I hope I did all of them. Did I do all of them? Yes.